bet you didn't know this about this Pokemon card. Not this one in particular, but it is one done by this artist, Shinji Kondo, who has done other cards like this beautiful Giratina, or one of my all-time favorites, Galarian Moltres, or the Oricorio, which is one of his most recent ones. But today, we're talking about the Magikarp. But before we get into this beautiful illustration rare from Paldea Evolved, let's backtrack a little bit. In the anime, in the Orange Island arcs, the episode, I believe, The Wacky Watcher, we are shown that Magikarp swims upstream up a waterfall to evolve into Gyarados. Here in this beautiful illustration rare, we see Magikarp. It seems like Magikarp is going upstream, just like the anime, to evolve into Gyarados. I've never noticed this before until recently when I was thumbing through looking for singles that I would like to purchase in some older sets. Right here, up top, what do you see at the top of the waterfall? Gyarados. I can't believe I've never noticed that. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed this, because it's taken me forever to notice this. I just noticed it the other day.
I gotta get something off my chest here, and it's about a card from Ascended Heroes. I feel like a lot of you will agree with me on this one. What are we doing with Mewtwo? This is probably the worst Mewtwo card we've ever gotten. This is my least favorite Mewtwo card. Ever. You mean to tell me you like this card when we have other Mewtwo cards? Like the iconic Mewtwo card. Such a banger card. Or even Batman Mewtwo, looking over the city. This one's way better than the one we're getting in Ascended Heroes. Or Mewtwo fighting Charizard. Probably the best Mewtwo card out there. And there's no way the Ascended Heroes Mewtwo card is better than the Destined Rivals Mewtwo card. This card is actually very, very dope. It's in my top 5 Mewtwo cards for sure. Let me know what you think about this card in the comments. I'm a D1 hater for this card. Perfect Order is trash? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a very slept on set. Let's look at some of the cards that have already been confirmed for this set. First of all, we're getting this beautiful Auroras card, which Auroras has not had a card since Sun and Moon Forbidden Light. Let's not also forget Tyrant, who hasn't had a card in forever, is going to be the ETB promo. Then you got this awesome stadium card of Lumio City, which this card looks straight out of the game if you've played Legends EA. And then we got this Clefairy card, which is pretty cool. Clefairy isn't one of my favorite Pokemon, but this card is actually very, very cool. Then let's not forget about the Mega Zygarde SIR, which is going to be in this set. This card is absolutely stunning. Zygarde's a pretty cool Pokemon. I've actually come to like Zygarde a bit more after playing Legends ZA. But if you take a look at this card has all form Zygarde, from Zygarde Cell, 10% form Zygarde, Zygarde 50% form, and Zygarde 100% form with Mega Zygarde. This is absolutely a banger card, and I can't wait to put it into my collection. Do you think here are some cards you should pick up from Temporal Forces before they spike? We're going to talk about all the Paradox Pokemon that have SIRs and Temporal Forces. Paradox Pokemon are the ones like Raging Bolt, Iron Hands, the future/ancient Pokemon that we got during Gen 9. Now, this little gimmick, it's kind of niche, kind of like how we got the tag teams, Pokemon Rumble, which Pokemon Rumble's doing crazy numbers, and nobody wanted it when it first came out. And it seems to me nobody really cares for the Paradox Pokemon that much. I'm personally not a fan, but I would definitely be picking these up since a lot of them are really cheap. Here we have the Raging Bolt sitting at about 62 berries. You have the Iron Boulder, which is sitting at about 16 berries. Iron Crown sitting at 36 berries, and this is just a gorgeous card right here. Here we have Walking Wake sitting at about 37 berries. Gouging Fire sitting at about 33 berries. Here we have the Iron Leaves sitting at 23 berries, which is really cheap. A lot of these are super cheap and would be great pickups. Which cards from Temporal Forces will you pick up? There's a Pokemon both found in Destined Rivals and Ascended Heroes that has 2 amazing cards, and no, it's not the Mewtwo. That's right, it's Psyduck. Time for a debate. Which Psyduck card is better? The Destined Rivals Psyduck or the Ascended Hero Psyduck? I personally like both of them. I think both of them are very amazing, but I just gotta say, I like the Destined Rivals one just a little bit more. To me, it's a little bit more appealing, and it just looks cleaner. I don't know, it just looks way better to me. But let me know what you guys think. The Destined Rivals Psyduck or the Ascended Psyduck? Cards you should pick up from Paradox before they go absolutely nuts. All of these will be the ancient/future Pokemon, the Paradox Pokemon, which we talked about in a previous video, and all of these will be the special illustration rares. Here we have Roaring Moon sitting at $34. This is a great artwork for Roaring Moon, my second favorite one. We have Sandy Shocks, Ancient Pokemon, which is sitting at about 7 berries, which is extremely cheap for a SIR. Here we have Iron Valiant, which is sitting at 21 berries. Probably my favorite artwork out of all the Paradox Pokemon. I have Iron Hand sitting at 10 berries, which again, all these are SIRs, and all these are super cheap for them being SIRs. Remember Pokemon Rumble when nobody wanted it? Which, if you didn't know, Pokemon Rumble is a mini set with all these weird 3D Pokemon. To me, they look goofy, but it was a mini set comprised of about 16 cards, and they have been going nuts lately. And remember, nobody wanted this. There was a time when tag teams sold for really cheap, and now here we are with another gimmick card, ancient slash future Pokemon that nobody wants, and they're really cheap for SIRs. Just take this Mew from example from Pokemon Rumble. 239 berries. We're going to take the Pikachu with the Vulpix and the Magikarp in the background. 505. Which cards from Paradox Rift will you be picking up to add to your collection?
So I'm sure you've heard this a lot. Go where no one else is looking. And honestly, it's such sound advice. It's going to keep you in this hobby long term. Well, where's nobody looking? Everything's so inflated right now. Nobody cares about Journey Together. I wouldn't even open up Journey Together because of how cheap the singles are. You can buy all the SIRs for less than $50, except for one. All the gold cards, less than 20. All the full arts, I think the most expensive one is like $3 for a full art, and that's harder to pull than an illustration rare. All your illustration rares are sub $20. Majority of them being sub $5. You have 3 illustration rares that are above $10. Like a sleeve booster pack is like $7, $8 on the secondary market. I would just buy several copies of the singles. That way, when people start caring about Journey Together, you have sealed product, you have a few copies of the singles that they want. That's going to give you some trading power where you can leverage yourself into bigger cards. You can leverage yourself into getting bigger sealed product that you want. You can leverage to get stuff that you actually want to collect. And I feel like a lot of people aren't doing this because of hype, FOMO. Let's face it, if you plan on staying in this hobby long term, which I highly recommend you do, Pokemon is such a fun hobby. You need to practice patience. You need to be willing to miss out because honestly, you don't need to stretch yourself out over Pokemon. Because at the end of the day, it is just a hobby. So practice patience, be willing to miss out because there's going to come a time where nobody wants a new shiny thing. And that's where you come in and you can pick it up for dirt cheap because people will move off the new shiny thing onto the next new shiny thing because there's always going to be a new shiny thing. So just be patient, hang in there. I know it's crazy right now, but you got this. There's so much hype around Ascended Heroes, Prismatic still. People are still wanting that set, and 151. We're going to talk about a set that everyone's forgotten pretty much. There's not a whole lot of focus on it. I think this is where one of your focuses need to be right now in the hobby if you're just a casual collector like me. That is Black Bolt White Flare. We've never had a set release like a dual set like this where it's 2 sets released at once to make 1 set. So I think this set will do very well long term because of that. You've never had a set where every Pokemon in that generation has got an illustration rare, full art, or special illustration rare. That's a first. So let's keep that in mind. And I believe single wise and sealed wise, looking at the secondary market here, this is as cheap as it's going to get. So honestly, if I were you, if you're looking to pick up some singles for this set or maybe some sealed, I don't really recommend buying sealed on the secondary market because of all the controversies you see online and everything else. If you can find it at MSRP, that's cool. Because really, last time I seen Black Bolt White Flare on a shelf, release day when it released. After that, I haven't seen it since the illustration boxes came out. I know I've seen people picking up 10s at Walgreens and CVS and Target here and there of the mini 10s. Other than those little small releases like that, and people finding it in vending machines, really haven't seen much of it. So the sealed started to climb a little bit. Majority of the singles are about as cheap as it gets. So I would honestly just pick them up now. If you think there's one that's going to explode, maybe do well, pick up 2. You know, use that second one as trading power later if you want to keep one for yourself. Let me know what you think about Black Bolt White Flare. Is it undervalued, overvalued? What singles you're going to pick up? Just go take a look for yourself. Let's talk about Ascended Heroes real quick. So booster bundles are coming out next week. I believe we're also getting a collection box as well. Well, 3 of them technically. These are going to be a Wave 1, Wave 2 release, how Pokemon's been doing recently. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be enough to drive down the secondary market on singles and sealed product, because honestly, right now, opening Ascended Heroes does not make sense unless you find it at MSRP. Because let's face it, this set is growing at an astronomical rate day by day. With some of the cards like the Gengar breaking $1,200 just recently. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Viridian Pikachu jumps over 900 before the release of Ascended booster bundles. Now, I think the release of the booster bundles and these collection boxes will be enough to stunt the growth for a little bit on the secondary market. But let's face it, there's not enough listings on the secondary market. The secondary market isn't getting replenished fast enough as sales happen, so the price continues to climb. And I'm not hating on anybody, but with the ideology of investment bros and people investing into Pokemon, keeping products sealed because it's a cool display piece, whatever, I'm not dogging on you. There's something for everybody in this hobby. But with the influx of people who would rather keep it sealed, display it, quick flip it, which you shouldn't do, scalpers, just be patient and wait, because Prismatic has had some pretty big dips throughout its lifespan so far. And I think Ascendant will probably follow the same pattern as Prismatic. So just wait. Once it hits a price point where you're comfortable buying it, I would go ahead and buy it. Or just do whatever you want. I'm just trying to help you out with your collection budget and your collection goals. So I posted this video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But basically, I just talked about Ascendant Heroes booster bundles and how they won't be enough to bring down prices on the secondary market. But in this video, I talked about how I believe the Viridian Pikachu, shout out Mo, but I predicted the Viridian Pikachu would be over $900 before the release of the booster bundles. It hasn't even been like 24 hours yet. But here's the Pikachu card that I am talking about. Market price is literally $9.89 right now, with the most recent sold of $9.90. That is crazy. The Gengar is still sitting at about $12.43. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this quick. I knew it was going to be before the booster bundles, but not like literally the next day after making that video. And this particular listing right here, as you can see, is listed for about $1,200, which is honestly insane. Will the Viridian Pikachu come up close to the Gengar? Let me know what you think about this card. It's most likely being manipulated on the secondary market, but let me know what you think in the comments down below.
Do animals from our world exist in the Pokemon world? This particular artist right here, Cage Maru, which I'm probably butchering the name, but that's okay. And as you can see on this oddish card, there is an actual frog from our world in the Pokemon world. There's other cards this artist has done, putting real animals on Pokemon cards. Just like this Psyduck here has a fish jumping out the pond. Or the Executor chilling on the beach with this little crab. The more obvious one, the Weeping Bell, with the bird sitting on top of it. Let me know what you think, if animals actually exist in the Pokemon world, or if it's just something the artist done just to make the card more appealing. And that raises the question,